You did see Todd Boehly up in the stands there. The Premier League is set to approve Todd Boehly's led consortium takeover of Chelsea, but a key stumbling block remains, and that's talks between Roman Abramovich and the UK government. They continue right now. Gab Marcotti is joining us. What more can you tell us about this situation right now, Gab?
Okay, you're right. The approval from the Premier League, just a formality, I think, at this stage. But the key thing here is the government, as we know, has frozen Roman Abramovich's assets. They have to issue a special license for him to sell the club. And then there's a question of what happens to the proceeds? What happens to that £2.5 billion, round about $3 billion, that Todd Boehly's consortium is going to pay for the club? There have been so many suggestions. Abramovich's people have said somewhat contradictory things. The UK government at first said, all right, it's all going to go in a foundation for charity. Now it's not entirely clear. There's the issue of the fact that Chelsea still owe Roman Abramovich personally well in excess of £1.6 billion. What happens to that loan? Does it get converted to equity? How does it happen? There's still a lot of scrutiny, a lot of technicalities in here. And I think a lot of people, made a lot of assumptions of what Roman Abramovich was going to accept. And now they're not, maybe now they're not exactly coming to fruition. So they are working on it. The big deadline is May 31st, because that's when Chelsea's current license to operate runs out. I would assume, I think most people would assume, that if this isn't resolved by that point, the UK government will extend it so that Chelsea can continue to operate in the summer. Otherwise, Chelsea would simply become insolvent. And I don't think that's going to happen.
It's very interesting, obviously, because we're getting, Frank, ever closer to the summer transfer window opening. Does a situation like this impact a player's decision of whether they'd like to go to Chelsea?
Maybe. I think people like, and especially the players, when everything is clear and concrete, and it doesn't seem to be. Hopefully, before May 31st, everything is going to be clear, and people will have the possibility of working on who's going to leave and who's going to sign for the club, and we'll have projections on the future of the club. But as long as this problem is not sorted out, it's complicated. Who's going to leave the club? Who's going to sign for the club? I think it's not the reality of today. I think the club has been in a no man's land for a couple of weeks in terms of sports, except for the FA Cup final, and we saw the result in the Premier League where Chelsea didn't have anything to play almost, and now in the offices, let's say that everything has to be resolved very quickly to make sure that the club will be competitive next season.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.